Hey everyone, good evening and welcome. Are you ready? Are you set? And are you ready to grow? This is Marty and Cheryl Turner, Master Coordinators with Shackley. We're so excited that you're taking time to take a look and listen to what we're so excited about and help you in growing your business. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right. It's a good feeling to be in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
Health and wealth is wise with the dollar sign.
I like it.
This industry is growing twice as fast as the global economy. It's up 6.4% from 3.7 trillion to 4.2 trillion. There's a lack of macro and micronutrients today in our food. There's a lot of fillers, a lot of synthetic and chemicals. There's a 38% decline in soil nutrient content. And Time magazine said that supplements will fill the gaps. Nutrition and a healthy lifestyle can prevent 60 to 90% of major diseases like heart disease is preventable 80% of the time, and 90% of all type 2 diabetes is preventable.
Amazing. I'll tell you guys, what's really cool is that we have this incredible company and this incredible industry, but we need to do something about it. And part of that something about it is setting your goals. When you build your business, we impact lives on every level, the health benefits, the financial benefits, and even the opportunity to have choices, which is what so many people are looking for. So how many people do you want to help live a healthier and better life? All right. Think about this for a second. Let's just say that you were, for instance, to win the lottery, not the big millions and millions, but one big enough where instead of taking the one-time payoff, you decided to take a check about $8,000 a month. That's about $100,000 a year for the next 20 years. How would your life be different? And for a lot of people, when they think about what they would do for family, the type of home they would live in, the places they would travel, the school that they would send their kids to, and also missions work and other nonprofits that you can help and bless. The idea is that if we set our goals big enough, if your why is strong enough, then the how doesn't matter. We'll figure that out along the way.
I kind of feel like we did win the lottery to find this business.
Absolutely.
And to be working it and being at the master coordinator level. It's amazing.
Well, the beautiful part is that our nice six-figure income doesn't stop in 20 years. That our children's children continue to benefit, just like other Shackley teams and families that have started it so many generations ago are continuing to benefit. So I love it. It takes work, but it is absolutely worth it. Cheryl, talk a little bit more about visualizing your goals and how that helps so much.
This was something I really had to get a handle on like 20 years ago. I was a broke single mom living in the basement of a commercial building, and it was really hard to visualize my goals. And when I would go to sleep at night, I would try to put myself and my children in a beautiful home, a safe home. There was enough food in the refrigerator. The heat was on. Those were my dreams. 30 years ago, not 20. But so we need to do that, to paint a picture in our mind. We need to see that end result. One day I woke up in our little tiny area. It wasn't even a real apartment. And I was confused that I wasn't in that beautiful house that I went to sleep in. So I did do that. I did learn how to visualize success, and developing a dream book or a file. For me, the best way to do it now is in PowerPoint. If I see something I like, I keep a file on PowerPoint and I put things in there. And Marty would put the most ridiculous things in that PowerPoint. I mean, he'd do things like just ludicrous income, cars, houses, all this stuff. And then I found his PowerPoint slide years later. We had achieved every one of them. So
it works.
It really works. So take action and go ahead, honey.
Well, and some people might do it on Pinterest now. They have the opportunity to use it through some of the social media. There's people that like to cut out the things out of the book and put it actually in a dream book, or put it up on a dream board so that they're visually seeing it.
And I like to do that because I like mine to be private. It's for me. I don't really care about other people knowing about it. You can talk to people about it, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. But you need to take action and pick up the phone. And this little picture on the right are my daughter's eyes when I was going through that transition. And I knew that I had to do something different so my kids could be in a safe place. And I took her eyes and I just wrote, pick up the phone. And I had that everywhere. And it helped me do that and overcome my fear.
Very good. I love it. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about verbalizing your goals as well, because that's just as important. They all are important, from the written goals to the visualized goals, and then verbalizing them to help kind of hold you accountable. Talk a little bit about that.
Right. You need to discuss your goals only with people who really believe in you and want the best for you. Because if you discuss it with people who don't, you're just going to irritate them. And then they're going to be mad when you become successful.
And they're going to try and sabotage sometimes.
Absolutely.
We call that the dream stealers.
We were surprised when some people close to us weren't as excited as we were about getting healthier and stronger and having healthier brains and bodies. So do those affirmations daily to yourself. Set a weekly or a monthly schedule with others so you can share them in a safe place, and hold yourself accountable. Find a partner to track each other's success.
Running buddy.
Yep. Break those goals into daily activities, and just don't go to bed at night until you've done something to move your business and your personal life, your financial life, your spiritual life forward. Take the shot. And I saw this Wayne Gretzky quote on a t-shirt when I was at one of my daughter's soccer games. And I saw it and I thought, oh, that's so true. And that just burned into my brain and I never forgot it. And again, that was like 30 years ago. I saw that. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Or in other words, if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Right. And the big thing about doing daily activities, income producing activities, is it could be reaching out to someone just to connect. It doesn't have to be talking shackly.
Yep.
It's starting that relationship back up from someone that maybe you knew from a previous job or from back in school or college. It could be someone that you've seen at church and waved to, but never really talked about what they were doing and what you were up to. These are all things that you can do. And talking with people and knowing that it is really all about building those relationships to be able to build your goal. Now, we talked a little bit about the idea of visualizing. We talked about verbalizing. But the other important thing is that you also have to have it down in writing. Now, again, some people like to write in their journal and can write it down. Other people may want to do it, in a Word document. Whatever it happens to be, you got to be specific. It's got to be written down. We talk about SMART goals, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time sensitive. And so the idea is that the more specific you are, not just that you want, for instance, to send your kids to school, you want to say, I want to send my kids to private school, or I want to send my kids to a specific college, for them to earn their 4-year degree from this college and in this amount of time, et cetera. Now, obviously, some of that's going to be up to the kids to follow through. But the idea is that if it was a car, it's a little bit easier because now you can talk about the make, the model, what year, how many miles it has on it, is it leather interior, all those things that are very specific are going to really help in the visualizing part as well. And then short term, you want to think about the daily things we were talking about. What are you going to do today to get moving closer towards that goal? What is going to happen in the midterm, which would be like in the next, say, 1 to 5 years.
Right.
And then long term would be 5+ years or lifelong or even legacy goals. Now, the legacy goal for me is something that you're going to be leaving behind, not that you're going to benefit, but what can you leave behind for future generations? And I love the fact that coming from a welfare family, and in one generation, we were able to break the chains of poverty and know that our children's children will be taken care of. Now, they're still going to have to work.
That's right.
They're still we're not going to just make them trust fund children that are spoiled. These are people that are going to have to contribute to society. They're going to have to give back to their community. And knowing, though, that they don't have to worry about the dollars the way we did gives them some better choices, which is really what we all want for all of our children and grandchildren. So make it achievable, and knowing that it's something that, you can do it. All right. Now, when I say achievable, it has to be something that is still reaching far enough, but it also has to be relevant enough and very, significant, because for a lot of people, they're thinking about different goals and dreams, but unless it actually moves you to action and it's significant, we talk about going from success to significance. That's going to be really important. And then, of course, the time. You got to have a deadline, honor before what day. And to do it now means that later you'll benefit from the work you do today. So that's right. Talk a little bit about what Van Gogh always mentioned.
Right. And, when Ashlyn was little, our oldest granddaughter, we were having a sleepover, and she was like 3 or 4 years old. And I knew I needed a new car. And so I had just torn out a picture on a magazine, taped it up on my mirror. I was tired. I was working 3 jobs and didn't have time for all that. And so then she snuggled in bed with me, and she's looking at that car in my mirror. And she said, Nana, are you going to get that car? And I said, yeah, I'll probably end up with it. And she said, why? I said, because you get what you focus on. I said, honey, our subconscious is so powerful. If we put ideas into it, it doesn't know the difference between the dream and the reality.
Right.
And she got out of bed. She went out in the living room. She got a magazine. She came back in. She's going through the magazine. She finds another car. And she goes, do you like this car? And I go, yeah, I really like that car. I'm thinking in my brain, I can't afford any of those cars. And she tore that one out of the magazine, got some tape, taped it up over the picture of the other car. And that was maybe a year before we got married.
Yeah.
About 3 years after we got married, Marty bought that exact car for us. He did not know that car was on my mirror.
That's true.
It was a champagne color Mercedes E320,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And Ashlyn had torn that picture out of a magazine and put it up. So it works. Work it.
So Van Gogh says,
dream no small dreams, for they have no power to move the heart of man.
That's right. And so we are really excited about people being able to be moved and to be motivated into action. And so one of the things that we talk about is that, in our business, we create a residual passive income, which means that we do the work today, and it's a lot of hard work.
Right.
It's not physical work, but mentally you got to overcome some of the objections and some of the disappointments.
Yep.
But it is work.
You have
Don't
to
get
be
me
consistent.
wrong. Absolutely. So consistently working, and you got to work a lot. And you're not really going to get paid anything at first because there's no salary, there's no guarantee. But as an entrepreneur, you have the opportunity at some point, as you, of course, have already looked down to the end of this slide, which is to not have to work at all and still continue to get paid more than you should for doing so little. So it's really a balancing act that at first you got to put in the work to get the pay. And then eventually over the, a couple of years, you're building your team, you're building your group, your base of customers. The work you're putting in is actually rewarding with the pay you get. But knowing that if something should happen to you, like for instance, when we went through our cancer battle, it was obviously Cheryl's, but I was in it with her, right?
Absolutely.
As her,
my advocate.
Well, as her advocate, as someone that was there as her, husband, it's devastating. But knowing that the money was continuing to come in for the work that we did years ago was a beautiful thing. And now we're at the point where, yes, we still work, but we get to work. We don't have to work. There's a difference. When you get to versus have to, life is a whole lot better.
That's right.
So I hope this kind of gives you a good visual that we want to go from the linear income side to leveraged income, and the idea that you can also have an opportunity to get paid even if you're not working, or if something should happen to you, where the money would keep coming in. And over a period of time, it could be a significant amount of money on a monthly basis.
Right. Do it when you don't feel like doing it.
That's right. Because then you'll be so glad you did. We always say you'll either wish you had or be glad you did.
That's
and we'd rather be in the
we're glad we did
category. All right. So with that, let's talk a little bit on a closing note about some of the wonderful things. So first of all, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That is a wonderful African proverb that basically talks about that we all can do it together, farther and stronger. That will truly be life-changing. Because you can go fast, but I would rather go with many more people and take as many people to the stars. As Mama Nadine would always talk about, on your way to the stars, take as many people as you can with you.
It's fun to have our friends with.
Absolutely. And I was noticing this as we're talking here, but we have this wonderful, you may not be able to see, it says, I eat goals for breakfast. And
that's my mug.
That's pretty significant that Cheryl has, and with our Shackley mug. So that's kind of cool. I just happened to notice it since we're talking about goals. Might as well throw that in there.
That's right.
So sweetie, on a closing note, share a little bit more about what we're doing and what this is all about.
There's a lot of different ventures you could get into, a lot of things you could go out and invest your life into. But I feel so good that we're doing it with healthy living and helping people be healthier mentally, physically, financially, emotionally. And Dr. Shackley said, the more you share with others, the greater your share will become. So it's amazing that you can get paid so well for doing something so wonderful and helping other people. And the more people you help, the more money you make.
Wonderful. Well, thanks everyone for taking a look and listening to what we're excited about. Here's to your success and prosperity. Here's to you achieving your goals and dreams. Here's to you focusing on your why. so much so that it's so deep in your heart that it will make you cry,
Yeah,
knowing that that's something that you're going to be able to achieve and enjoy. So thanks again for taking a listen. Get back with the person who thought enough to invite you. Find out more about some of the tools and some of the different things that are available through Shafley to help you, guide you, and track your success as you're building your business.
that's right. You can do it. Get on. We're ready for liftoff.
All right. Thank you so much.